For centuries, human beings around the world have fermented different localized ingredients to make some form of alcoholic drink. The process is simple. When introduced to yeast, natural sources of sugar such as fruit or grains are converted into a combination of ethanol and carbon dioxide. What's more complex is the variety in procedure and recipe that yield many different results, one of which we commonly consume: beer. Brewing beer begins with grinding grain, in this case malted barley, using a mill. This helps expedite the extractions of stored sugars once combined with warm water. After separating the liquid from the now useless spent grain, the warm sugar water known as wort is boiled for sterility. At this point, hops and other bittering agents are added to flavor the beer to preference. A rapid cool down of this recently hopped wort is the final preparation for the introduction with yeast. This process takes place entirely inside the fermentation tank or glass carboy and can take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to properly ferment. Although the procedure for brewing beer is linear, there is an overlooked element that professional brewers like Joel Field never underestimate.
Probably the most important part of brewing is cleanliness and sterilized equipment. If your equipment isn't clean, you have the potentiality for contaminating your beer, which will result in either a product you don't want, a product with the wrong flavors, or an incomplete product because whatever contaminated it might outcompete the yeast, which are trying to ferment the product. So on the end of that, also yeast health, therefore, is one of the most important parts of brewing. If your yeast isn't healthy, you will not get a good beer at the end of the process.
Brewing beer isn't reserved for professional brewmasters and industrial equipment. It's something you can do yourself in the comfort of your own home. Paul Sass has made a living out of providing reputable equipment, ingredients, and advice on home brewing for nearly 30 years. Everything required in the start-to-finish process can be found in comprehensive yet straightforward kits, available at local supply stores. As the landscape for the hobby has transformed over decades, Sass has held onto the belief that basement brews can compete directly with the quality of craft beer, and offers those undertaking the project for a first time a reminder of that.
Our tip for people starting off is do set a high standard, because it is there, right? You can bump into lots of stuff, but there is a high standard of beer that you can create. You don't have to invest that much, a little time and patience, make sure everything's sanitized, and really there's not much to it, and also you deal with a reputable store that helps you all the time.
As noted, brewing beer doesn't mandate a large investment or an academic degree in chemistry, but it does demand diligence for an antiquated method and meticulous conditions. But don't worry, proper execution makes all of the effort worth the commitment. Liam Daw for CMRU.ca.